Welcome to New Friends Cinema,
where we get to know each other by sharing our favorite movies.
From childhood throwbacks to recent comforts, we walk through the stories together.
Keep in mind this podcast contains mad spoilers, and join us
At the New Friends Cinema. Welcome back to New Friends Cinema. I'm Courtney.
and I'm Dakota. I think that might be the best one.
That's
I
as
think
good as it's gonna get.
As good as it's gonna get, people.
Oh
Welcome back.
Welcome back to New Friends.
Y'all,
We tried.
we did it.
We
did
hear
it.
that sneeze. I wonder if that picked that up.
I
Prob
wonder.
sneezing in the background.
Oh, happy day.
Oh. It's been 100 years.
It has been.
I forget how to do this.
It always takes us a minute, and then we're back in it. And truly, I would not want to be anywhere else on our season finale.
Season finale.
Season finale. Don't cry. Not you.
Who,
The
me?
listener. The listener. It's okay. We'll be back. But you're allowed to cry.
Yeah. We'll see what happens.
Yes.
Time will tell.
Oh, my dear. It's been a long time since you and I've hung out. We're
I know.
back in it.
By a long time, it's like 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
That's a long time.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And we've had a little catch up earlier.
Things are changing.
Things are evolving and growing
Yeah.
and changing again.
Yeah. It's good.
Yes.
Seasonal, you know?
Yeah. And we are so excited to be back and to talk about this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But before we begin,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to give you your present. So I went to a 420 market yesterday, like I
Mhm.
mentioned. And I got this cute little, I saw this and just immediately thought of you. It's still in the newspaper that it was
Okay.
wrapped in. And it's just a sweet little token of what I think our friendship is.
Aw, thank you. I'm going to open it now.
Oh, there's no price tag on the back, is there?
No,
Okay,
no,
good.
no. I just always like check ceramics for the marking.
Yes.
So cute. What do I do with it?
Whatever you want.
Eat a tiny cheese plate?
A tiny little cheese plate. It's a cute little
Aw.
ceramic dish that maybe you could put earrings on, but it's got my favorite word on it.
Yeah, it's beautiful ceramic glazed with a little heart and all lowercase the word cunt. So sweet.
So
I love it. Thank you.
I just saw it and I was like,
Yeah.
Dakota needs that.
I don't know what. Oh, here.
Oh, that's perfect. Perfect.
I keep all of the little scraps of paper from the hat with the episodes we do, and now they're being held on the cunt plate.
The cunt plate. Oh, I love it. That's so great.
So cute. Nice.
Thank you.
I have something for you too. I texted you about it.
Oh my god. Yeah.
It's not well,
It ain't a cunt plate.
it is a gift. Call me.
Call you.
Call me right now.
Okay, here we go.
I learned a new skill.
My phone is like on 3% battery. Hold on. Which is very unlike me.
Mm-hmm. Okay, ready?
Oh, I renamed you're not Dakota in my phone anymore.
What am I?
Delta Foxtrot.
Oh, I love that. Your egghead in mine.
Oh my god, I'm so flattered and so embarrassed at the same time.
And look at the pic.
Oh, that's so cute.
I learned how to make ringtones.
I love it. Thank you.
And Prob almost fucking ruined the surprise by playing that track.
Oh, I just thought
the
you were
ringtone
dicking
track.
around with
I
it.
was like, when I heard that as I was editing, I was like,
I wonder if I could hear that all the time. And was that my ringtone?
It's just my ringtone
Oh
right
my
now.
goodness.
Because you don't call me, really.
No, I
But
don't.
you did call me the other day.
I did.
And that sound came on, and I was like, fuck yes.
Hell yes. Courtney doing an Ian Malcolm laughing in the helicopter impression. You betcha, baby.
I did this on like Thursday, and I've been like so excited to show you for so long, like since then.
So perfect.
And also I feel like it really opens up doors
Really?
for like
The scope.
ringtone possibilities.
The reach. Do you want me as your ringtone?
I can make anything a ringtone at this point. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Did you like that?
I did like that. I think it soared above and beyond anything I was prepared for. I'm so excited.
It fucking gets me every time.
I'm just gonna fucking call you now.
It's just perfect.
Yeah.
Though.
I'm gonna call you and just hang up.
Yeah.
Just give you the gift.
Honestly, yeah. I don't mind that. Yeah.
Oh my dear. Okay. We are here for our season finale.
This is the season finale. Kicking it off.
Did we mention? It is
I don't
the
think
season
so.
finale. It's the last one of our season.
Yeah.
And what a movie to go off on, really.
A tale of girlhood,
Yeah.
womanhood,
Across time,
sisterhood,
space.
yeah,
It's a very
coming of age.
Rewatching this, I was simultaneously just like immediately 10 years old again.
Mm-hmm.
And also just, I'm loving the adult content in this movie. And before I was like, I'm done with the adults. I want to get back to the kids.
Yeah.
But I'm loving the fashion.
The
all of it.
fash, yeah, for sure.
So good.
Very good. We are talking about Now and Then, released in 1995. Star-studded. Great flick.
Honestly.
This movie was so fucking pivotal for me.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the first time I saw it. It would have been the early 2000s when I first saw it, right?
Yeah.
Because 1995, I was too young. But it was at my dad's house when we still lived in the duplex, and it was like an afternoon, and it just was on TV, and we missed the beginning. But I didn't know, but it was just on, and we just watched it, and we had gone. The mall near our house, I used to have a Greek restaurant that had the best souvlaki, and so we had gone and got souvlaki for the family, and it was like summertime, and this was just on the TV, and my sister and I were so enthralled, but we didn't know the name of it. We didn't know what it was, right? And then I didn't see it again for a while, because it was like that movie that I just didn't know.
Right.
And then I came across it again, and yeah, I was obsessed with this movie. I got it on DVD. I loved it so much. I wanted the soundtrack so bad.
Okay, we'll talk about the soundtrack as it happens, because
This was before Amazon, and like online, buying stuff online was a thing. eBay existed, but it was like, there wasn't a central place where you could go and know that you could get something. And buying shit online took forever to get there. So I always just talked about how I loved the soundtrack. I wanted it so bad. And my stepdad found it for me online and got it for me for my birthday, which was very nice.
That's so sweet.
Yeah. Friends would come over, we would watch it, like, we would always be like, I'm Teeny, I'm Roberta, like that, right?
Like, who are you out of the four?
Yeah.
And
no one ever wanted to be Chrissy.
Oh my god, I have thoughts about Chrissy, and we'll get into it. Yeah. But, it was, you would always be able to find the young girl who you identified with the most, and every friend group had doubles of each, of course, but it was just, you could see yourself in this movie, which was so, if not in one of the young kids, or like between the three of them. And they were all going through their own life hardships, I think, that we could each somewhat kind of like identify with in our own way.
Yeah, there's real stuff happening in the periphery of this movie.
Of the summer of
where
71.
They're having to navigate real big things. Yeah. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
this movie was always on TV. I think that was
Yeah.
primarily how I consumed it as a kid too.
Yeah.
And it was just, I think it was for 90s kids, the 70s was that era.
The 90s now.
Yeah.
Like how the 90s is now.
In.
The 70s was.
And it was like this fascinating decade of groovy fashion, music, sexual liberation, women's rights. Like, it was just a really interesting time. And I would, pick my mom and dad's brains about it all the time, the 70s.
See, my mom was born in 71, so she was like an 80s kid.
Right.
But I remember always like being, same thing, like so fascinated by the 70s and stuff, and being like, the idea that my granny and papa were alive and adults in the 70s was so cool to me. I was just like, wow, like what was it? I used to ask my granny about it all the time, but the thing is, like, the movies and stuff that we would see about that time were set in like in big cities in the States and stuff like that, right? Like my granny grew up in fucking rural Saskatchewan. Like there was no free love there. There was no, it was nothing like the 70s of like what so I always had a hard time wrapping my head around that, right? Like she wasn't, I mean, she was very cool. Mm-hmm. She wasn't groovy. You know what I mean?
Rural groovy standards.
Oh, like her and my papa met at church camp.
But. Oh, that's cute.
Well, she was at church camp and my papa and some of the guys from town went out to the church camp because there were some cute girls out there.
Dang, so. Papa.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. All right. Yes, I'm excited to talk about this movie and this movie is nostalgia. That's it.
Yeah. And it's been a long time since I've seen it. Mm-hmm. I think it's right? Like when you go so hard on something as a kid, it's like, I don't need to really like, so, but I've wanted to watch it for a while. Like I've been wanting to rewatch it and like you said, you were 10 again. Like that's how I felt. I was just like instantly, it just brought up a lot for me. Mm-hmm. And it made me very introspective for the rest of the day yesterday. I was really thinking a lot and like, cause it really placed me in the way that I felt then when I was a kid.
Then.
And now, kind of going through that, you know, when you're a kid and like seeing this story and like these girls and like the experiences they're having and how they're kind of, some of them are longing for womanhood, some of them are bit scared and whatever, and but like being in that place when you're a kid where you're like on the precipice of puberty and you're like
unsure,
about to get boobs maybe, you know what I mean,
or having feelings or having these big adult things happening around you and you're old enough to kind of understand
but we used to always talk about like when we're grown-ups we're gonna do this and this and like wanting to be a grown-up so bad, and it's like I love my life. I've worked pretty hard to carve out a life that I want to be in.
Hell yeah.
But it's not been easy to get here, and like kind of this movie just really put me in that place of like looking back to that child and like I'm gonna cry here. But just being like a little you know inner child hug moment.
Absolutely.
Good.
Absolutely. And I think it is an apt thing that all adults could do every once in a while is just listen to that little inner child part, because inner children, I don't mean to get on a soapbox here, but
listen to her, ladies and gentlemen.
Inner children are a vulnerable, impressionable, naive part of ourselves that comes out every once in a while that needs attention, and inner children are also incredibly playful and curious and joyful and silly, and we have to tap into that every once in a while, because if we don't, that shit's gonna start to seep up and become adult problems, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I am an advocate for
I've been
inner child work.
Working on this a lot in therapy, so yeah.
Yes,
it
queen, you are.
Yes.
Let's do it. I am so pumped. Let's get into Now and Then.
Okay. So it was directed by Leslie Linka Glatter, who...
What a name.
She's done a lot of, like, episodes of TV shows.
Huh.
And, like, films. But there isn't any other, like, movie that I was looking at that I know of or have seen, you know?
Cool.
The cast. So the movie's called Now and Then, right? So it's about the 4 main characters, and we see them as 12-year-old girls and as grown women.
Yeah. How old do you think they are?
They're 12.
No, as adults.
Oh, as adults?
Yeah, I didn't catch it.
Well, it was 1970 and they were 12, and it was, then it came out in 1995. So yeah, early mid-30s.
Right on.
So like our age.
Yeah. That's weird.
Cool.
Yeah, trippy.
Wow. Yeah, so the main cast is Roberta, played by Christina Ricci and Rosie O'Donnell.
Oh, Rosie again, ladies and gentlemen.
And Christina Ricci again.
And again.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Chrissy, played by Ashley Aston Moore and Rita Wilson.
Gotcha.
Samantha, played by Gabby Hoffman and Demi Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Teeny, played by Thora Birch and Melanie Griffith.
Yeah.
I love Thora Birch.
Well, I was just about to say the chokehold that this young child actor had on my heart. Hocus Pocus, anyone? Like, Ghost World?
Ghost World, yeah. That's what I was, Scott Wormer, our boyfriend, our
collective boyfriend.
Devon Sawa.
Oh. This is pre-Casper, too.
Yeah.
We'll get into it.
Bud Kent, Hank Azaria.
Bud.
Willa Dean is Janine Garofalo.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
love her. And Sam's grandma is Cloris Leachman.
And that
Iconic.
woman has not aged a day.
She's
Well, in the current things that I've seen her,
Yeah.
she had not aged a day.
yeah. I'm
What a
already
cast.
feeling like warm and fuzzy. just
Warm
by
and
that,
fuzzy.
yeah.
I feel like a human version of the fuzzy peach. Sugar,
Mhm.
gooey, nostalgic.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
love fuzzy peaches.
Mhm.
My dad and my stepmom they would like put on treasure hunts for us around the house.
Yeah.
We didn't have a lot of money, but we always like did stuff.
Created the
We'd go
experience.
camping all the time.
Yeah.
And so yeah, they did like really crazy treasure hunt for us around the house, and each of us had like our own clues and like our own, like it wasn't
Aw.
just all together.
Mhm.
And then each of us had a different, our treasure. Mine was fuzzy peaches.
Ugh.
I got at the end, like a big bag of fuzzy peaches.
big old
Yeah.
bag. Oh, cute.
Okay, so the movie opens as iconically as it possibly could
Mhm.
with Signed, Sealed, Delivered. Bow, 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 bow. Right?
Who I am.
I almost started
Signed,
singing.
sealed, delivered, I'm yours.
Yeah, Signed, Sealed, Delivered. So good. If I'm driving and this song comes on,
Be careful.
it's best that I pull over because it's
a concert.
exactly.
Eyes are closed.
She closed her eyes and started like waving her finger. I was like,
No,
yeah,
but-
you better fucking pull over. Even, especially if Colton is with me, it's even worse.
Yeah.
Like there have been multiple situations in the car with us, with each different ones driving at different times, where this song came on.
Yeah.
And things became dangerous quickly, and we had to so anyway, it's this song and it's anything by Missy Elliott. If
Okay.
the two of us are in the car, it's like
Pull over, folks.
pull over.
They are coming
No,
for you.
we need to pull over and just
Everyone
have a
pull
moment,
over.
yeah. So yeah, that song comes on and there's a ton of kids playing Red Rover in a field. It's like in a suburb between a couple houses field.
The amount of nostalgic feeling I had watching this Red Rover scene, because
Mhm.
we all had those, the war wounds from
Yeah.
Red Rover.
Mhm.
Like the twisted fingers, the bumps and the
Yeah.
bruises and the scratches. Like you gave it your all.
So I was going to ask you about this. So you did play Red Rover as a kid?
Oh,
right?
yeah. And then it got outlawed at school.
Yeah,
because of
okay, same,
reasons.
same. Like, we used to play it all the time when I was younger, but probably in grade, like, when I was still really young, like grade 2 or grade 3,
Mhm.
they banned it at school,
Mhm.
and we weren't allowed to play it anymore, and you just couldn't get that many kids together. Like, even in the neighborhood, like, you just couldn't get enough together for a legit game of Red Rover, so.
You couldn't get enough?
No.
People were chomping at the fucking bit to get in our games because those
Yeah, no,
lineups
yeah.
would be like 30 kids long. Like it
That's
would turn
awesome.
into a multi-grade tier system.
At school,
Yeah.
At
Oh,
school.
but like in the neighborhood.
neighborhood, I'm saying
Fair enough.
outside of school, you just couldn't.
Oh, so people
Even
were
in the
hungry for
neighborhood,
it.
It would be like 12 or 15 kids. That's not really enough. You need
No.
like a lot of kids.
Yeah. Recess would be a madhouse then.
And then they fucking banned it.
See, the thing about recess
Mhm.
is that school districts don't know about the thing until a child severely hurts themselves and then
Mhm.
it becomes banned. One year we had this contest at school where we would roll the biggest snowball
Yeah.
and then you would get up on the said snowball and, dominate in your
Mhm.
kingdom of snowballs. But the one year we had freezing rain in between recesses.
Cool.
And this one kid would get up and it was a big ass snowball and you bet your bottom dollar that kid fell off the massive snowball and broke his arm. So then snowballs were banned. So
What?
there had to be some precedent setting kid at our school to
Yeah,
ban Red
same.
Rover
Yeah.
where someone lost an eye or something because
Yeah.
kids, you would fucking throw down to get through those kids' arms.
Yeah. Snowball throwing. We were allowed to
Ooh.
roll snowballs. No throwing snowballs.
Yeah.
No King of the Hill. No Red Rover. They banned wheelies and
The
Beyblades.
shoes?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you cannot ban Beyblades.
Yeah, they did. No, they banned them. Yeah.
Damn,
In
and those
school.
are still fucking popular today. To this
Crazy.
day.
Okay, we gotta get back on track.
Okay,
here.
sorry, nostalgia, like
No,
I said.
This is gonna be happening a lot, I
A
think.
lot.
Okay, so all the rest of the kids are on one side, and it's just our 4 main characters left.
Yeah, it's like
on
20
their
against
side.
4.
Yeah. And they're trying to decide which one of the kids they think is they're gonna be able to get on their side. Well, some of the girls are. Teeny is eye flirting.
Oh, she's hungry for
Across
some Red Rover action.
Yeah. She's like, They pick a booger picker kid who looks kind of weak, and they all hold hands, and they're like, "Come on, we got this."
Yeah, power friendship, baby.
They toss the kid to the ground, and then they're all jumping for joy and celebrating.
Yeah, you got a little while to go, girls. You got one.
Yeah. So now we kind of come into the opening credits. It's a picture of the 4 girls. The camera is kind of panning around the different women's like vanities and like home areas to kind of show, you know, who they are now.
A real life Pinterest board, if you will.
So we see that Roberta has become a doctor, Teenie is an actress, Sam is a writer, and Chrissy is a housewife. Yeah. Sam's answering machine picks up a call from Chrissy, and we find out that Chrissy is pregnant and she's due very soon, and that the 4 had all promised to reunite. And so she's like, you better be coming, basically. Sam's driving home. Sam, played by Demi Moore and Gabby Hoffman. Demi Moore is our narrator of the story.
The writer.
Grown Sam, the writer. She hasn't been home in a long time. She's stressed about, she doesn't want to go home.
She's pounding cigarettes on the way home.
She is chain smoking hard.
But let me just say, Demi Moore's portrayal of Sam as an adult in the 90s, she's so fucking cool. Like the high collar mask fashion, like the suits, the braids.
Does she have a pocket watch, or she's wearing a vest?
She's got like a almost like a 3-piece suit, but it's feminine but also a bit masculine. It's just like so fucking cool. And I remember distinctly that this, out of the 4 women who like grew up, or the girls who grew up, she was just, in my opinion, the coolest but also the saddest. She was
okay. So yeah, Sam is the coolest and the saddest. I felt the same way too. Yeah.
She's the what we all want to grow up to be.
A cool, sad, lonely writer.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Chrissy's sitting at her vanity. It's like all pink. She is beaming though. She is just living her fantasy.
And this vanity is meticulous. Yeah. I don't identify with Chrissy in many parts of her character.
There are a couple parts though where I'm like, I've never identified with anyone more than I'm identifying with Chrissy right now.
No, as an
adult.
The
most part, not at all. And then watching it, I'm like, that is me.
That is me.
But kid Chrissy, not adult Chrissy.
Yes, fair enough. But her lipsticks are all in this like meticulous, clean line, and we'll get a little bit more into her upbringing, but very much she is a person of order and cleanliness and aesthetics and, you know, appearance, of course, but she is putting on this like bright lipstick, and she's glowing.
Aquanet.
She's glowing.
Roberta comes by. So Roberta and Chrissy had stayed home.
Yes.
They stayed in the town that they grew up in. Roberta became a doctor. And then Teenie and Sam moved away. Teenie is on the cover of People magazine. She's doing very well for herself in Hollywood.
Successful bombshell.
Sam and Teenie arrive. Teenie comes in a stretch limousine.
Oh.
Yeah.
White stretch limousine.
And she's wearing all white.
Yeah.
She looks amazing.
Legs for days.
Chrissy's just snapping pictures, like, of everybody. Everyone's super uncomfortable. The vibe is really awkward. They haven't seen each other in probably 10 years.
Yeah, well, that's what they said. The last time we were here was 10 years. And it's Chrissy kind of forcing this friendship reunion. And Roberta is the one who's stuck around and who has been in Chrissy's world, and they're obviously friends. And the other two kind of like reintegrating back. It's like, hey,
it's very much the two that stayed and the two that left. Like they're the comfort, because even the two that left haven't stayed close, but they both left, so they're both kind of like, whoa, this is weird, right? I love grown Roberta, though. She's hilarious.
She is quick-witted, and if this is Rosie O'Donnell again.
Yeah, that's why,
we just love Rosie, and she is, if 0 to 100, that's Chrissy going up and down, 0 to 100, 0 to 100. Roberta's a flat 50 the entire time, and monotone, like, but dry, sarcastic humor. I love it.
Yeah, because Roberta's also seeing, like, she's seeing how hard she's trying. She's seeing how awkward this is. She's just like, whatever, like, and also kind of being like, still on Chrissy's like side a bit, being like, well, you know, kind of giving everyone shit, right?
Yeah.
So Chrissy lives in her childhood home. They are in the backyard grilling, and their old treehouse is still there.
Oh, this treehouse.
Amazing. I wanted it so bad. Yeah. It's like a little house.
Yeah. It's so cute.
It's from the Sears catalog.
$129.
Right? Ooh.
Yeah.
You could actually live in there today.
But today's money, that's easily 4 digits to get in a place like that.
Sam is a very cynical person. So they're sitting out back, and I didn't take super detailed notes about this, but basically they're all just they're sitting, they're chatting, they're talking about marriage and writing and relationships and stuff, and Sam just like seems very like miserable, you know, and cynical about how things are.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. She's dry, I wouldn't say like nihilistic or pessimistic, but she's lived, I think, a difficult adult life, and we get to kind of obviously get the prelude up to it, but she's sad and lonely.
Yeah.
But aloof a bit. Not aloof, what's the right word? It doesn't bother me, whatever, but it obviously bothers her.
But this is the way that things are.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, well, you know.
Lighten up.
Yeah. Which is basically what Roberta is saying, right?
Yeah.
So Sam is on the swing, and she swings really high. The camera goes up, and then we flash back to the summer of 1970.
Ooh, baby. And I love this because as adults, they were in their spots, and then as Sam swings back in time, they're in the exact same spots.
Yeah.
Rosie is now Chrissy, or whatever.
Please don't confuse us.
I'm gonna be so confused. Basically, you immediately get to know who's playing who.
Yeah, it's easy to tell just right from that, So the girls decided to buy the treehouse that summer, and saving up the money for it was their summer goal. They grew up in a suburb. It's a pre-planned community, the Gaslight edition.
I love that.
So at night, Sam is in her bed, and she can hear her parents fighting, and she's trying to read, and it feels very normal.
Oh yeah,
like,
she's not bothered too much about it.
Her little sister comes in. Her little sister,
Rumor Willis.
Yeah.
So cute.
That's Demi Moore's daughter. If you don't know.
For the Moorheads out there.
So her little sister comes in. She climbs into bed with her. She's cuddling her. The next morning, Roberta is at her vanity. She's measuring her boobs. They grew again.
She's not happy about it.
She tapes them down. There's sports trophies, a baseball on her vanity. She's the tomboy. We find out that her mom died when she was 4, and she grew up with her dad and 3 older brothers.
A lot of specific energy in that house.
She has a picture of her mom that she carries with her everywhere.
Yeah.
As she goes to leave her room, her 3 brothers are just like
wrestling
in the hallway.
She's like, fuck off, you guys. Let me get out.
Teeny is in her room. She's dressed up. She's practicing an Academy Award speech.
Iconic.
Takes out her retainer.
Yeah.
So that she can.
She's a natural, really.
She's an only child whose parents are like country club people. They're never around. They're always partying and stuff. So she's
neglected.
Yeah. Chrissy's room is all pink.
Oh, baby.
She's brushing her hair in the mirror and counting the strokes. Her mom comes in, and she's correcting little things around her room. Oh, this.
Oh, that's not right.
Fix this, right?
Up, not down, down, not up.
Chrissy has asked her mom about sex, and like this is her mom coming in to try to like talk to her about it, but she's very uncomfortable.
And the mom is being played by Bonnie Hunt. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Great.
She's super uncomfortable. She's like, doesn't think she's old enough, but her friends are little trash mouths, so it's better that, right, like she hears it from her.
Yeah.
So she's kind of trying to explain it, and she's like, well, all women have a garden, and it takes a big hose to water it. Or a little hose, as long as it works.
And she goes, sex is like boo, and aha, and aha, and that's what sex is.
Boo, ah. Yeah, it's like, Sam narrates that because of this conversation, Chrissy becomes really obsessed with gardening when she gets older.
Horny little freak.
There are 4 brothers biking through the neighborhood. They're the Wormers.
Domestic terrorism. That's what these fucking kids are.
Yeah. Their summer goal is to make the girls' summer a nightmare.
Ugh.
They attack them with water balloons filled with Jell-O, which is very creative, I have to say.
Yeah. That's a different impact for sure. That's a sticky, icky vibe once that explodes.
Roberta fucking chases Scott Wormer, played by Devon Sawa.
Yes.
He's riding his bike and she is just running after him.
Yeah.
She almost catches him.
But biffs it
that
on the
fall,
pavement.
though, that she does?
Oh,
right
fuck.
on her
Face and titties.
Yeah.
Just like boom.
So the girls bike into town to a diner. They're sitting in a corner booth.
Mm-hmm.
Teeny is reading them a Cosmo quiz.
Okay. Those YM Cosmo, what was it, 17, those magazines that we would get, and all of the quizzes were exactly the same,
Cosmo
just different
Girls,
words.
17, Teen Vogue.
Teen Vogue less so.
Yeah.
There were, like, it's just a lot of quizzes. We love
What
quizzes.
about, that was like when you were like 15, 16 and stuff though, but like when you were younger it was like J14.
Oh,
and
Tiger Beat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just the posters that you would get out of it. Oh.
I still have somewhere in a photo album pictures that came in a special edition J14 that were, there's like an Aaron Carter picture, a Britney Spears picture,
Yep.
I think Destiny's Child,
Oh.
and they were like photos,
Mhm.
like prints, and I, as a kid, I like put them in a photo thing, and I remember like
in a frame?
in a photo album.
Okay.
And I remember my sister used to, she had a copy of that picture too of Aaron Carter, and she would like pretend that he was her boyfriend.
Oh, yes, of course, as we all did. My poster that I recall getting out of like the Tiger Beat was the fold out version, like the massive
the ones,
like the 4x4
Mm-hmm.
of JTT, Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Nice, yeah.
Oh,
That's gotta be a
The
collector's item today.
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Lion King.
Okay. But yeah, so she's reading a Cosmo quiz. They're adding up their savings. They only need $23 more to get the treehouse.
Dang.
They see Sam's mom across the street, and Teeny is fucking living for Sam's mom.
The fashion.
She is kitted. She looks amazing.
Mm-hmm.
She's got the little 60s hair with the swoop and the
Does she have like
white.
the go-go
She's
boots?
got go-go boots on.
Oh.
She's got that like mod dress.
Mm-hmm. Big collar.
Yeah, she looks amazing.
Amazing.
But Sam's really embarrassed by it. Right?
Yeah.
Sam says that there's a full moon tonight and that they should go and try another seance.
They're drinking Coke floats.
Yeah.
This is a contentious
Brown
topic.
cows.
Are you a Coke float kind of gal? Root beer float, Coke float.
I cream soda.
Cream soda.
Float? No?
Yeah. Oh no, I don't float. I don't fuck with the floats.
Well, I can't eat ice cream.
Neither
so.
can I, but it's the fizzy lactose that gets me.
Have you had a screamer? Screamers are better than
What
floats.
are screamers?
A screamer is half slushy and half soft serve.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, dude.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, this summer, fine.
Oh,
You
yeah.
hook me up with a screamer and we'll find out.
We gotta go to Deep Creek.
Deep Creek.
In Armstrong.
Okay.
And get a screamer.
So
Okay.
fucking good. It just feels sick
I'm not
watching
gonna
them.
I'm not gonna choose a float. If I can choose, I'm choosing a screamer.
Okay.
Right? And then if I can choose, I think Coke, yeah. A brown cow, yeah.
Brown cow. Okay. Just needed to know.
Okay. You gonna be okay?
No, it just makes my tummy upset.
Why?
Because it's gross.
What?
They're gross. There's like, okay, feel free to let us know, folks, if you are pro or anti float.
I just don't understand what's gross about it. Like, just explain it.
It's a piece, like a clump of ice cream floating around and pop.
Oh, but it, like, you can scoop it?
No.
No, okay.
No.
Well, let us know if you think floats are gross or if floats are gross. If you're fine with it.
Yeah, fair. I just
right.
needed to know. It's
Yeah.
kind of like our litmus test of, sandwiches. Like, how much sauce are you putting on that sandwich?
Yeah, totally. It's a texture thing? It can't be a texture thing.
It's not a texture thing.
There's something floating in my drink.
It's conceptually this dairy product floating in a fizzy pop drink.
But you like boba.
That's different.
Okay. No, but just boba, it's like chunks. So.
Chunky, yeah. I don't know. Okay.
Huh. All right.
It's just a little tick of mine, I suppose.
Yeah, that's all right. So Janine Garofalo brings them 4 floats. That'll be $1.60, boys.
We're girls. Chrissy?
Yeah. She doesn't care.
No.
Teeny says that she's a witch, that server's a witch. Sam is very intrigued by this.
Sam is a culty.
She loves sci-fi. She
aliens.
Loves,
spookiness. She's the seance girl. She's the one who wants to go out.
She's the one, like, not forcing, but, like, getting the other girls into it. If she weren't suggesting it, they wouldn't be doing it.
No, I doubt it.
Yeah. Chrissy is not super into the seance stuff, but the other girls are, so she does. So now it's nighttime again. Sam is reading in her bed, and she hears her parents fighting again. She goes to the window, and she sees her dad leave.
Oh, the heartbreak here.
That's rough. She narrates that she decided not to tell the others about her dad leaving, because there was part of her that thought that he would be back.
Yeah.
And that at that time, no one in the neighborhood had gotten a divorce.
That's wild. It's just common now.
I think it's weird when people's parents are together.
Right? It's the opposite.
What?
Yeah. Like, oh, you should have separated, shouldn't you? Like that. Yeah. Wait, you're happy and healthy? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh my. I can only imagine what that stigma is like back then, though.
I'm just like, me and my friends who have divorced or separated parents are like, if we know someone whose parents are together, we're like, that's what's wrong with them. Like, oh, that explains it. Oh. Their parents are together.
Gotcha. Before we move on.
Yeah.
Chrissy said something dumb, or somebody said something dumb, and Roberta replied back with the best insult ever. Don't be such a fart ass.
Oh, fart ass, yeah.
That's gotta come back. We're bringing it back, folks. Use it.
Yeah. So the girls all sneak out of their houses. So she watches her dad leave and then sneaks out.
Yeah.
They go to the cemetery in the middle of the night. Sam is leading the seance. Teeny wants to try to contact Marilyn Monroe again.
Teeny.
They decide to contact someone who is buried in the cemetery, and they decide on Dear Johnny.
Yes.
He was a kid when he died, and they want to find out how he died.
The war. That's the dates add up. But no. Did you ever do this? Did you go to a graveyard and do this?
I've spent a lot of time in graveyards. I would never do something like that in a graveyard.
No, I would do it often. Like my sister and I would sneak out and we would do seances in the graveyard. In hindsight, not the best vibe.
I think that's really dangerous.
Oh yes. And, we would, this movie, we would find graves.
I'm not saying we didn't do seances, but we just wouldn't do them.
Well, that's playing with fire at that point.
We used to smoke weed in the graveyard, like normal teens.
We would. Oh no, I think we were 10, and had must have been like 6. We would sneak out.
What?
Yeah, I know.
What's wrong with you?
A lot.
How far did you have to go to get to the graveyard? In the night, you would sneak out?
Yeah,
with your 6-year-old sister.
Yeah. And like a friend would sleep over and we would go out. It was a town very similar to where we are now. It might have been like a 15-minute walk.
Oh my God, Courtney.
I know.
Well, see, and the town I grew up in, the cemetery was, I mean, you could walk there, but it was way too far.
No, it was scary. And I just recall like having to pee the whole time, and I didn't have to pee. It's just I was so scared and nervous that we were doing something bad, which in hindsight we were playing with fire. But yeah, I was just curious. Smoke weed. We eyed contact. Dear Johnny.
Yeah, we would go and park up there, and it was like the spot, like one of the spots, right? There's a few spots, and this was back in Prohibition times. I remember one time I was up there with a friend, and they went to get out of the car with they had like were holding a bong getting out of the car, and this like middle-aged guy walked up, and he was like, oh, like we were so afraid we got caught, and he's like, it's nice to see you kids are carrying on the tradition.
A little nod of respect, just like.
But we would always go like to the very back of it where all the graves were very old, like never around like more recent graves where
people would be visiting. It's
more
disrespectful.
Literally, like old, like elderly people would walk by sometimes and be like, "It's nice that you kids are like spending time here, like visiting
time."
Yeah. So anyway.
I don't know. I think it's a bit of a rite of passage to kind of hang out in a cemetery at one point in time in a small town.
I think so too, but I know a lot of people that I've like brought that up with, and they're like, "No, that is so creepy."
Oh, okay, well, that's why we're friends. So,
So Sam is asking for Johnny to communicate with them, and Chrissy starts rocking back and forth. He's here. She's
lonely, scared.
She's channeling him. The other girls are get super sussed out, and then she starts laughing because she was just fucking with them. They get mad at her, and she apologizes, but she's like, you guys are so gullible with all this seance stuff. She's like, it's just pretend, right? Mm-hmm. And at that exact moment, lightning strikes a tree near them, and it starts pouring rain. Yep. Chrissy fucking takes off out of there.
She bolts,
screaming, and the other girls chase after her. Sam turns around and sees some like freaky shadows.
Yeah.
And she's like, there's someone else in the cemetery. Mm-hmm. So as they're leaving, like they're at the gate of the cemetery, the rain has stopped, and they hear a creaking bicycle. Oh. It's a local named Crazy Pete.
No. Poor Pete.
Yeah, and they get scared and they run, cutting through a field. They run home. Mm-hmm. So later in bed, Chrissy's like checking under her bed. She's got rollers.
Yeah.
She's 12. Sam's window is open, and it feels like something blows into her room.
This whole scene was very scary. Mm-hmm. I must admit, it was scary as a kid. It was scary as an adult watching it.
Yeah, it's like it blows like through her room, and it's like everything's kind of getting like tussled and lifted up, and then it just stops very suddenly.
Did you see the silhouette again? Mm-hmm. There's like this almost, it appears to be a man silhouette, but like kind of like waving, and then the telescope was like
spinning. Whoa. Yeah,
they did something spooky.
Yeah, I mean, it's also like it could just be like a sudden gust of wind and like a car driving by, which like reflects the shadows in a weird way or whatever. But
it was a ghost.
It was absolutely a ghost. I'm just saying
it could be something else.
So she gets up and she pulls on I love this. I wish I could have had something like this with my friends. She pulls on a string out her window. It's connected to a bell outside of Roberta's window. Mm-hmm. Roberta pulls back to show that she's got the message.
Roger.
She flashes a light into Teeny's window. Teeny flashes back, and then she radios Chrissy that they need to have a secret meeting. So I'm like, is this the same night?
It is the same night.
Jesus Christ.
They literally got into bed and then must meet up again in the cemetery. Again.
So back at the cemetery, Sam tells the girls that she thinks that a ghost came into her room. Sam trips over a cracked gravestone. It's Johnny's gravestone. A bird comes out of nowhere. Fucking flies by, scaring them. They book it out of there.
Screaming again. Just full tilt, bloody murder screaming.
Yeah. So the next day the girls are having, I know that these weren't the same as them, but do you remember those like Flintstone pops?
The push pops.
Yeah.
100%. Yep. It tasted like chalk.
It was like orange though, right? Like orange soda.
Orange soda. I think there was like a pink one.
Cream.
But yeah, you had to like, the way that she like ripped off the top and like banged it on the cement.
Yeah.
And then it like pushed it up. I was like, yes. Nostalgia.
So they're having those outside of the library. Sam comes out and she says that there are no records at the library. But the librarian said that the Greenfield Library keeps all the newspapers. Mm-hmm. So they decide to bike to Greenfield.
4 12-year-olds cross almost like what I would consider like state lines, or like within the state. That would never happen today.
I used to want to do something like this so bad. The idea of going with my friends, getting a little radio for the bike, and then like packing a lunch, packing sandwiches, and just like biking to the next town. Like I wanted to do that so fucking bad.
My sister and I would do that with like a friend or two. The town, mind you, was like a 20-minute drive, so it kind of was a bit of a trek, but we lived in a rural area where we totally could do that. But I don't.
Was it pretty flat where you grew up?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Not here.
Yeah, cause we biked a fuckload as kids. We biked everywhere, all the time. We were always biking.
Your gang.
In town, yeah. The cons. The creatures of the night, that's what we were. That's our gang. But the idea of biking to another town, like, no. You know.
I don't know.
Cause it's too hilly.
Yeah, and very similar. We had a rail trail. That used to be a railroad line and is now just an open trail, and that was just flat as flat could be, and we would just take that, which was it was nice because like kids could go out realistically and follow the rail trail, get off at the next town, and it was a safe non-highway version of getting there.
Yeah, we didn't have anything like that. No. So they're biking to Greenfield. It's amazing.
Sunny.
It's beautiful. It's just like a beautiful summer day.
No cars on the road. They're just biking along.
They stop at a gas station for lunch. They pack sandwiches and they buy some Cokes. Teeny really wants to see Roberta's boobs.
I think Teeny is the most sex positive out of all of them. I think she's been around adults way too much, or not enough in a parent sense. But she is all about this idea of like sexual identity and puberty.
And like becoming a woman. Like
Womanhood.
she's like ready to be a grown up. Yeah. Roberta's not going to show her boobs. She's still taping her boobs at this point. Taping them down.
Hates them.
Teeny's wearing balloons full of pudding.
What flavor?
And I love that because she's like, and then she's like, vanilla, like, obviously. Yeah, and she got the idea from the Wormers Jell-O.
The Jell-O bombs.
Yes. Yeah. Which is funny. Teeny truth or dares Chrissy if she's ever been French kissed. And she says, no, I don't want to get pregnant. You can't get pregnant from kissing.
And like the girls, oh my god, Chrissy, you're so silly.
It's common knowledge that if you tongue kiss a boy, he automatically thinks you'll do the deed with him.
So we get another glimpse into the sex education that Chrissy got for Chrissy.
Yeah. And Sam's like, what deed are you talking about? Like what deed?
What are you talking about, Chrissy?
And Chrissy's not really sure what she's talking about. And she's like, you know, like the watering can.
The guy waters your garden with his hose and then you're pregnant.
And the way that Sam like sips on her Coke and she's like looking up, she's like, oh my god. No, yeah. Do you want to talk about the Chrissy stuff now or?
Sure.
Yeah.
First and foremost, they bully the shit out of this girl.
They do bully Chrissy, yeah. It hurts.
It hurts. There's so much fat phobia and just comments about this.
Her body all the time.
All the
she's
time.
Fat. And then like, even like she's taking a break later on and she's eating and they're like, get off your ass and help and like this kind of stuff. They're always like, oh, you're so heavy. I don't know if we can lift you up.
You better
like,
get a head start.
Cause you're slow. And she's like
a normal girl, a normal kid.
Yeah. Also, it's just like, one, like she's not fat.
No.
Like she's a kid. She's just a kid.
She's just a normal kid.
Yeah. And yeah, it sucks. But then there's also this side of like, they do really care about her. Yeah,
I had a note earlier on because the way that these four girls fuck with each other, I'm not sure if you'll get into it, but there's like a lot of faking deaths and really jokes that go really far. They call Chrissy fat and kind of she's the butt of the joke. So they care very deeply about each other, but it's a really interesting glimpse perhaps at this friendship where there's, you know, heavy connotations of, you know, fat phobia, misogyny and stuff like this. And I had a hard time actually rewatching elements of this movie because I was like, are they friends? Like, is this what they thought friendship was when they're looking back on it?
Well, I feel like too, it's of a different time.
Oh yeah.
You know? And, me and my friends were mean as fuck.
I suppose.
Like, there is also that element of like ribbing, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not saying that it's okay because it was very hurtful to see that, but it's also this dynamic, like, I'm not gonna lie, there were people in our group that, like, we just were mean to because we could, you know?
I suppose it's like a learning period for this age to know limits, to know what joke hits versus hurts.
You're starting to really understand that, like, this is kind of similar to the Harriet the Spy thing.
Yeah, right?
Where it's like you're kind of starting in a place where you're figuring out like other people are people just like you.
With their stories, with their history.
And feelings.
Yeah.
And like and you're learning how to navigate that in a different way than when you were younger.
Yeah.
Right? So it's this, I feel like there is that element of growing up and kind of like that coming of age testing kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
And in that way, I feel like they did a really good job of those uncomfortable pieces, though I don't think that all the fat, like all of that stuff with Chrissy is necessary or cute in any way.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But watching it like kind of with that, you know, 1995 and being like, I see what they were trying to do, you know?
Yeah. And yet I think it had a really potentially harmful effect because I remember watching this and I think we see our darkest versions of ourselves when we watch these movies, like Harriet and some elements of how they would treat Chrissy, because I wasn't the nicest person either growing up. And again, I think we're learning how to be ourselves in a dynamic socially, and knowing our limits, knowing what empathy is, knowing when a joke has gone too far. And I think it was not their intention to do so, of course, but who knows, the casual fat phobia in these movies kind of gave not permission, but it normalized it.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of bullying could have been addressed. We don't need to get too deep into it, but I feel like Chrissy's character was super annoying and uptight and naive.
It's all of the it's also like all of the stuff about being girly that we're supposed to hate.
Exactly. Yep.
Right. The feminine
misogyny.
Yeah.
And I think Chrissy turned into this like scapegoat of the butt of the joke, the idiot, the one who doesn't know anything about anything. But she has this really human moment later on in this little bike trip where I thought it was pretty powerful. I hated Chrissy then, but looking back on
Chrissy
her now,
too. Yeah,
I feel so much for her.
Same. I hated Chrissy when I was a kid, and watching it now, like I feel for that character a lot.
Yeah.
And it also brought up some things for me where it's like I was a pretty sad, timid child, and then when I kind of was going through puberty and stuff, I got really pretty like mean. Like I didn't
angry.
I was so insecure that I would just like want to say stuff first before someone could hurt me, kind of thing.
Let me cut you before you cut me.
Yeah, I wasn't a bully at all by any means, I don't think. But I was just kind of rude, you know? I was just rude, and like my friends thought it was funny, and I was being funny. Like it was as a funny thing. But there's something, like I think back now and I'm like, ooh, that was just like a kid that was hurting.
And I think you and I connect so deeply on this in the sense of being vulnerable or insecure at that age and turning to comedy, because you and I believe we're funny people, right? Like we make each other laugh a lot. And maybe others, who knows? That's still up for debate.
I always say as long as you're laughing, like as long as I'm laughing at myself, that's all that matters.
Yes. And I think you and I at a certain point tried to cover up or process or work through that vulnerability or that internalized misogyny or, you know, whatever it be through comedy at the expense of someone else.
Yeah.
Because then if it's off me or if I'm softening the tension with humor, then it makes it better.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
And some of Harriet the Spy kind of brought that up for me. This movie brought it up for me of just looking at the mirror and like looking at uncomfortable childhood stuff and like, wow, I wasn't a nice kid sometimes.
Yeah.
But adult looking back, so much softness now and compassion and understanding for Chrissy.
Yeah.
I still have a hard time with her, but they made her that way.
Yeah, for sure. They're just babies, you know? They're just sweet babies trying to figure it out.
Acting like adults.
Okay, so there's a little singing bike riding moment, a little choreo.
Knock 3 times.
Yeah. I'm the ceiling if you want me. Oh. Okay. So they are riding by a barn and Chrissy needs to take a break. And this is big me energy here. This is where I'm like, I am Chrissy. Where she's like, leave me here. I don't care. I need a break. I'm taking a fucking break. Leave me. Whatever. You think I care? Like I was always, and I still am. I'm like, I will not be told, you know, that I'm not like there's that. Yeah.
Yeah. Do not tell me what I need.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
That's Dakota.
Yeah. And I don't give a fuck what you think about it. I'm taking a break. Yeah. So I loved how she was just like, so they're standing under the tree, this tree here. They clock some birds in the tree and one shits on Chrissy's head. And again, it's like, yeah, it would be her that gets pooped on, you know?
And she's a germaphobe, right?
Yeah, like she likes to be neat. She doesn't like to get dirty, yeah. So they go to the river and this is a part though that I see the softness and the other girls.
They care for her.
They're laughing because it's hilarious, but she's really upset and they're like, okay, like calm down, we'll go clean it up. Like even Roberta, she's laughing, but she's like, I can't clean it. Like she's looking at it, she's trying to clean it.
It's too wet and gooey.
Yeah. And so it's like they're kind of laughing at her expense, but they're also like, no, we're
gonna help you.
We'll take care of you in this situation, which I think shows that softness of them. So they go to like a river, like whatever, to wash her hair. They have a little water fight. Chrissy falls in, then Teeny and Sam jump in. Roberta climbs up a tall tree and dives into this very shallow water. They're telling her, no, it's too shallow. She dives in anyway. they're like, Roberta. She doesn't come up right away, and they're starting to really panic.
Mm-hmm.
And then they see her body floating a ways down. And they swim to her. They're screaming. They're freaking the fuck out. Sam gets to her first. She flips her over. They drag her to the shore. Sam and Teenie are over her arguing about who. You do mouth to mouth. I'll do CPR. No, the other way around. Fucking Chrissy comes, pushes them out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
She's about to do it, and Roberta spits water in her face.
Mm-hmm.
And Chrissy is just stone-faced, like, so shook by this. Like, it's too far. Roberta's like, it's nice to know who your true friends are. Mm-hmm. The other girls are like, no, I was gonna do it. No. And then Chrissy she's just like completely frozen.
Mm-hmm.
Roberta puts her hand on Chrissy, saying, Chrissy here's the only one. Chrissy fucking punches Roberta in the face.
Close fist
punches her.
Socks her in the face.
And Roberta's like, what the fuck, right? And Chrissy, super stern, she's like, don't you ever do something like that to me again. Mm-hmm. And Roberta kind of screams at her, it was a joke. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is intense, I think this is. So now, well, I'll just say this. Sam narrates now that it's not the first time that Roberta has done something like that. And none of the other girls have experienced a loss like hers. Mm-hmm. Remember, her mom passed when she was 4. And they didn't understand her jokes, but it felt like she kept trying to make death funny. Like, it was a processing piece for her.
100%. And just to validate that part of it, like, she obviously goes too far, but to laugh, to have some kind of humor to help you process is totally normal and healthy and fine. And for those folks who haven't had close loss like that, I think it's hard to conceptualize and understand. But as a kid, like a 12-year-old trying to go through that, I know she lost her when she was 4, but it's still this ongoing processing of this person not being here and trying to make sense of death.
I think also as you're she's going through puberty now, right? Like she was a kid.
Yeah.
And now she's her reality is expanding beyond her home and her neighborhood. And she's growing more, and she's learning more and having different understandings, and not having her mom there and seeing everyone else having their moms there, right? Yeah. Like there are new experiences that are happening, and it's like she's having to lose every single time something happens, right? And so it's like, again, she's 12, and I feel like this is a very realistic, like, shit like this I'm sure happened when I was a kid, in situations where it's like, someone's playing a joke, it's not fucking funny, it's actually terrifying, it's not okay, and then someone else, like, their boundaries crossed, and there's that very stern, real, and when you cross someone's boundary, and they, like, tell you that you've crossed it, like, I fucking hate that feeling so much. It's so embarrassing.
When you're the one who crossed it?
Yeah. It's so fucking embarrassing, and it's hard to take, and there is that, like, defensiveness, because it's like, most people don't intend to cross boundaries, right? So it's like, when you do, and you have to be in that of respecting and understanding and being like, doesn't matter if you meant to or not, you did, and you have to be accountable for that.
Yeah. Intention it never removes the impact. Like, you could have a positive intention of a joke, but the impact lands as someone being absolutely, horrified like Chrissy was. A good sock to the face kind of woke Roberta up a little bit.
And that's very unlike Chrissy, right? They're so used to just, like, kind of shitting on Chrissy all the time. So Chrissy being like, there's also this level of, like, this is the dynamic in the friendship, but she maybe is I don't want to put it, like, on her, but it's like, maybe she's just, like, whatever a lot of the time. You know what I mean? Yeah. About stuff.
Yeah.
Where it's like, they don't necessarily realize that, like, she's not dumb about it. No. And then she's like, no, this is too far.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, she takes a lot.
Yeah.
And this crossed the line.
Yeah.
And in this moment, we do get to see, like, Chrissy saying to Roberta, you're my best friend. And later on, we do get to see the other pairing. Yeah. But it's very clear in this moment that Roberta and Chrissy are closer, not closest, but closer than the others. And they're the ones who stay in the town together as they grow up, and they're the ones who stay quite close friends as adults. I think this depiction of how they communicate this and how Roberta actually hears Chrissy, they love each other. It's very clear.
For sure. So Sam and Teeny run off because they hear something.
Mm-hmm.
In this moment, Roberta apologizes to Chrissy. Chrissy tells her that she's her best friend and that she was really scared.
Yeah.
And that it's not okay.
Yeah.
They have that really real,
healthy
moment.
Conversation.
Really great.
Yeah.
So the girls are spying on the Wormers skinny dipping.
Oh, boy butts.
And wrestling. Boy butts. Yeah. Teeny sees Scott's penis. And the other girls look, but Chrissy doesn't. This is so funny. This is so funny. This is like one of the times where they're absolutely not bullying Chrissy.
No.
And she's like, great. Now I'm the only one who hasn't seen Scott's thing, right?
It's gonna
and
be a whole summer.
I'm never gonna hear the end of it. You're forcing me to look. And the other girls are like, no, Chrissy, you don't have to look if you don't. And she's like, fine, I'll look. And they're like, no, seriously, you don't. And she's like, this bullying is just...
Yes. Girl, just look.
Like, no one's forcing. She's like, okay, I'll look. But I'm looking under protest.
Yes,
they're like, okay.
under protest.
She looks...
Underwhelming.
Yeah, we have a little conversation about... Because she's like, again, has no information, no frame of reference.
Sweetie.
And she's like, you know, so they kind of explain something.
Why is it so small? And then Teeny's just like, they get this big. It's like 2 feet.
Yeah. So funny. And also, though, but like, when they're like... It only gets big when a guy has a heart on. And then, she's like, what's that? And then, but, Sam's like, doesn't your mom teach you anything? I'm like, whose mom is giving them a sex talk saying a guy gets a hard on? Like,
oh gosh.
That is not, you know what I mean?
Yeah. To a degree, I think Sam might have read about it.
Yeah,
Sam might have heard about it at the parties.
Yes.
And Roberta has 3 brothers.
Yeah.
So maybe that's their education.
Did you get a sex talk at home?
No, I didn't.
Me neither.
No.
I got a book.
Yeah, there was like books in the library.
We had sex ed at school.
I think, yeah, we had the course in school. I think there was the period talk. But I think my parents were quite aware that the adult movies and TV that I was watching as a kid kind of did the work for them. Like, I kind of knew what was going on.
I definitely had to ask some questions. But, yeah, my mom gave me a book. The Birds and the Bees, the Alligators, Possums, and People Too, I think is what it was called.
What is this education? Tell me more.
It's like how all the animals fuck. I mean, make love. Make children.
Between species?
No. It's about an animal orgy. No,
I am living for this.
Birds, how they do it. Bees, how they do it. Alligators, how they do it. Possums, I guess, how they do it.
Everybody fucks.
And then people at the end.
I love it.
Yeah.
I just imagine like birds and bees just fucking.
Well, nope. Not everybody fucks. Fish don't fuck. We learned that, remember? The Jurassic Park. Well, I learned some stuff.
We are humble
about who does and does not fuck.
We are learning, ever growing. We are curious queens.
We are. Oh boy. Okay, so this is fucking amazing revenge time. Where am I? So Roberta notices the boys' clothes are all on their bikes. They take all their fucking clothes.
Revenge!
They go and shout, "It's payback time!" And then they run out of the woods. They run with their clothes to their bikes. The boys are like running after them with their buns out.
Oh my god,
they buns.
Cute little boy butts, and then they have like burlap sack or a basket covering their junk.
Yeah.
They're running after them down the street.
And they take their clothes and as they're riding their bikes away, they're dropping their clothing one piece at a time.
They're running.
Yeah, the girls make it to Greenfield. It feels like it's like 6 p.m.
Yeah. All of the shenanigans in between. Jeez.
So they're looking through all these big books of old newspapers.
I would love to go do that shit.
They make it to Greenfield. They're looking through all these big books of old newspapers. Flipping through, Roberta finds the news story from when her mom died.
Oh.
So, she was a teacher, and she died in a car accident. She finds out that her mom was pinned for an hour and a half and fully conscious when they extracted her from the vehicle.
The details in this fucking news article.
And that she passed in the night in the hospital.
Yeah.
And she says that's wrong. Like, that can't be right.
Happen.
Right? So she doesn't go into it here, but she just makes that mention. And she photocopies the article and she's just kind of really
huffy?
Yeah. The other girls, she's really emotional. The other girls don't really know what to do.
They're frozen.
They're all kind of just sitting around her. And so they just go back to looking Like, cause Roberta, she does that, she sits down and she just starts looking again, so then the other girls are
Just
like,
follow
okay, we'll
suit.
just do that. Sam finds an article about the Sims, 12-year-old Jonathan and mom Beverly Ann Sims.
Mm-hmm.
It says that it was tragic, but it doesn't say why, and then the pages have been torn out.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, someone's trying to keep this a secret.
Someone took a lot of effort to hide this story.
The girls are heading home, and they come across a hitchhiking Brendan Fraser.
The continuity here between all of our episodes. It's insane.
Yeah. It's crazy, hey?
Mm-hmm.
So he is a Vietnam veteran. They're asking him all sorts of questions.
It's a little invasive, let's say. Did you get shot in the war? Is that why you're limping? It's like, kids, settle the fuck down.
It's this is a piece where they're kind of trying to really frame us in this time, right? And the girls are saying, well, on the news it said that they're really gaining ground over there, and he's like, forget everything that you heard, kind of thing. They stop at this abandoned house and a broken down truck. He says getting shot was the best thing that ever happened to him because it got him home.
Mm-hmm.
He offers them cigarettes. They're 12.
And all of them take them except Chrissy. She's like,
Chrissy does not.
It stunts your growth.
So Sam's like trying to smoke. Teeny's like trying. Roberta's a fucking old pro on that thing.
Apparently.
He tells them that they can believe in themselves if they're lucky. Like it's a whole back and forth conversation. This guy, he's been over there. He's seen it.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know much about the Vietnam War, we're not a history podcast. You can look into it.
Google's great.
It was bad. We're gonna just say that. It was bad. It was the wrong decision.
Yeah.
It was really fucked up. It was horrible.
Yeah.
So he's been over there. He's fucking traumatized. And he's like, no, I know the tea about it. They're lying to you.
Don't believe everything you hear.
Don't believe everything you hear. Your parents aren't always right just because they're adults. Like, you have to, like, he's giving them, like, kind of good little pieces of wisdom, but it's also like, you offered 4 12-year-old girls cigarettes.
It's like this really interesting look, because for the most part, these kids only interact with their parents. That's the only interaction they have with adults. And then Brendan Fraser's like, what, 23 maybe?
Yeah,
in
he's
He's like a young, but not a teenager, but not as old as their parents. So they're getting this really frank, real adult, cool conversation while smoking darts on this abandoned fucking truck. And they're getting some valuable nuggets, like,
for sure.
You can believe yourself if you're lucky, and don't believe everything your parents say, and fuck, what does Sam go? Shit, no shit, right?
Yeah, exactly. They're also like trying to seem
cool and
older, right? Yeah. Chrissy fucking clocks that earring. She's like, "You're a hippie, aren't you?" My mom says all hippies are sex fiends. Like, she's just like,
I want nothing to do with this man.
It's like, the other girls are like, be cool, Chrissy, but Chrissy's like, we don't fucking know this guy.
This is a stranger.
Like, you know what I mean? She's like,
Chrissy knows what's up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just like, she's the only one who's like, not gonna get fucking kidnapped.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
All 3 of them end up on the side of a fucking milk carton later on in the year. Chrissy's like, not me. Mm-hmm. I didn't take that stranger danger dart.
So they head off. Sam kind of gives them, she puts her cigarette, throws it down, puts it out. Yeah. She's like, hey, whatever you're looking for, I hope you find it.
Suave.
Yeah.
So suave. And I think they have a moment where he also like clocked her in her childhood angst of like, yeah, no shit, my parents are fucking assholes. So I think he's like, you're gonna be okay, kid. But she was saying it to him.
Yeah. So at home, Sam is having dinner with her mom and her sister. Her little sister is asking about where the fuck is dad.
Fair enough.
I want to see dad now.
Yeah, where'd he go?
Sam tells her mom that she's embarrassed about how she dresses. Grandma is banging on the door. Mom's trying to hide from Grandma because Grandma's upset that dad moved out.
And this is her mom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And this is old school.
Yeah.
Right? Where it's like, no, it's your job to keep him happy. You failed as a wife.
Yeah, your marriage failed because of you.
Yeah.
But we have a pretty good inkling that her dad might not have been a great partner.
It's a two-way street, I think, you know? So the next day the girls go to the psychic. It's Janine Garofalo from the diner.
Mm-hmm. The witch.
They pay her $10. She lets them in. They're sitting around the table. Chrissy's super skeptical and she's fucking pissed because they spent treehouse money.
Treehouse dollars
on this fucking scam artist. Again, Chrissy being the realest one.
Yeah.
She gets Sam to shuffle and cut a tarot deck, and Sam is saying that they want to find out how Dear Johnny died. She does a 10-card spread, and the last card she pulls is a 10 of Swords, which is a card that has an image of a dude laying face down with 10 swords in his back.
Yep. Does 10 of Swords mean murder? Like, what does it mean?
No.
10 of Swords.
No,
you know
off the top of my head, I don't know, but it's not murder.
Yeah.
It's never so black and white as
No,
that.
of course not. But the kids are like,
because even the death card doesn't mean death.
No.
They pull death, and they're like, it's like, that doesn't mean...
Could be the ending of something.
Yeah.
But as a kid, I was like, uh-oh. Murder.
Yeah.
Because it looks like murder.
I mean, maybe betrayal? I don't know. I used to know, like, a lot more, but I haven't done it in a while. I got my little book next to my bed. My little bag of cards. My granny made me a
little tarot card bag?
Have you seen that?
Not the bag. I've seen your granny's bags because I have one.
Hold on.
Okay, you look it up and I'll do 10 of Swords. It's time to admit that this just cannot continue any longer. This tarot card is a helpful reminder that you cannot change other people or how they treat you, but you can change how you respond. Oh, granny bag.
How cute is that?
Can I open it?
Yeah.
And you really tight fucking knot, Dakota. Jesus.
Sorry.
Continue while I fondle granny bag.
Don't say fondle granny bag.
Oh, no, I have to say it. Fondle granny bag. Ooh. Oh. Oh, this is old school.
Yeah. After they leave the psychic, they finally decide to just talk to someone who was alive when he died.
Logical.
So they plan the next day they're going to go see Sam's grandma, because she's the oldest person that they know, and also paint Roberta's garage door for $10. A kid rips by on a bike. He says that there's a softball game going on, so the girls go to join the softball game.
Yeah.
Scott Wormer is pitching. Devin Sawa. Roberta steps up to the plate. He scoffs and tells the other kids to bring it in.
Boys.
He says, "This is for yesterday." Yeah.
Just you fucking wait.
So she hits a foul ball.
She clocks it.
The other girls are sitting on the fence cheering her on. There are some other kids sitting on the fence as well. Chrissy yells for her to get a touchdown. Also big me energy.
Oh, yes, while pounding pixie sticks.
Hell yeah.
Oh, talk about nostalgic.
We used to get so hyper off those things. So this nerd kid comes over to her and she tells him to get lost. And I think this is her future husband.
It is. And I think it was also the booger kid at the beginning.
No, really?
I think it might have been Fink.
Oh, God. Okay. Some fucking loudmouth on the fence says, "Girls can't play softball." And everyone's like, uh-oh.
Roberta is gonna kill this kid.
Even Scott is like, right? Like, oh shit. No. What are you doing? She fucking stomps.
What did you say?
I said, girls can't play softball. That was good. We should be actresses.
We are actresses.
Chrissy yells, "Remember your lady!"
Oh, hell no.
He says that she needs to go home and play with her dolls. She fucking clocks this kid. He falls back off the fence.
Ooh.
She grabs him and then pulls him down to the ground. They're fighting. She's beating the shit out of him.
Oh yeah, she's clobbering him.
All the kids are circled around, egging them on. Fight! Sam and Teeny pull her off of him. One of them is like, "How does it feel to get beat up by a girl?"
Yeah.
And then he calls her a crazy bitch. And then he says that it's too bad that her mom is dead because someone needs to teach her how to act like a girl.
The collective gasp in that circle of children.
The way that, cause Roberta goes to lunge at him again. Sam pulls Roberta back, basically uses what would you call that?
The scrum?
The power of, her pulling Roberta back and then using Roberta's body
the momentum.
To push herself.
Sam
launches it.
Beats the shit out of him too. Which is like friendship.
Double ass kicking.
Girls fighting for girls.
She gets home covered in dirt, disheveled, big shit-eating grin on her face.
She is chuffed. She's so
feeling
proud of herself.
She's feeling good.
Yeah.
That was awesome. I bet the whole way home after that too was they were amped the fuck up.
Because it was just not only girls can play fucking baseball if they want to, but you don't mess with my friend. You do not hurt my friend.
Yeah. She walks in the door and her mom is in the living room with a man, Mr. Kent, Hank Azaria.
Mm-hmm.
He is holding her sister.
Mm-hmm.
They're chatting like a little family.
Yeah.
She's like, what the fuck is this, right?
That must have been really weird.
She shakes his hand. She doesn't want to, right? At dinner, he's trying really hard, too hard. This is a first date.
Mm-hmm.
He's saying, that they should go to the Smithsonian. He heard from her mom that she likes science. She's like, I like science fiction, not
Get
science.
with it.
She's just not having it at all. She tells him that he has food in his teeth. He spills wine all over himself. The mom brings out one of Sam's dad's shirt to put on him. It's like his bowling shirt. It has his name on it.
Yeah.
Sam just takes off. She can't.
It's a bold fucking move to have a first date at home with your kid.
Yeah, I know, cause he says must first date jitters, and it's like, yeah, I don't know.
It's just bold, right?
Yeah.
Like
it hasn't been that long. And you know what? Whatever, mom can date, but like it's a fast to just bring a man into the house, yeah.
Sam had every right to be upset.
So Teeny's parents are having a raucous party.
The mom, I think it's her mom, but mom's like scooting around with like this massive tray of martinis.
Yeah.
You know that there's a fishbowl somewhere with all of their keys. They're going to be swinging later. Like that's the vibe of Teeny's house.
Yeah, for sure. So she's sitting on the roof watching a movie that's playing at the drive-in. No sound, but she's super into it.
She knows all the words.
She knows what's going on. So Sam climbs up there. Teeny can tell something's wrong, and she asks if she wants to go and try out the treehouse. So it's like in the lot at Sears, there's like a model set up, right?
Yeah. With all the other outdoor garden stuff.
Okay, we're about to be at what, as a kid, was my favorite scene of this movie.
Okay.
Roberta's outside her house shooting hoops.
Of course, the romantic part is your favorite part of the movie.
I just wanted to get kissed by
fair
my
enough,
crush. Devin Sawa. I just wanted to get kissed by Devin Sawa. What? And also Christina Ricci.
Yeah, to be fair, like that whole scene was just like, wow, this is exciting.
Yeah, so exciting. So
let me just scooch right there in the middle.
Yeah, exactly. Little Sammy. So Scott Wormer comes by. It just seems like, cause there's a few times where kids like pass by.
The neighborhood's small.
They like
know each other.
Cut through the yards kind of thing. So he passes by. He gives her unsolicited advice about her form. She's like, who fuck asked you? Yeah. He goes to leave. She passes him the ball. They play for a bit. She gets a basket against him.
Mm-hmm.
He tells her she's good. Not just for a girl, like for a guy.
Rolling my eyes.
She offers him a pop. They are sitting on her porch swing. He asks her why they always fight. This is like a sweet, sensitive moment.
This is a sweet, sensitive Wormer boy. Because I think they've always just kind of been adversaries in the neighborhood, right? And he's kind of just like, why does it have to be this way?
Well, also, like, girls are gross until a certain point.
Girls are always gross, but I'm into it.
Yeah, exactly. So he asks why they always fight. He says that he thinks she's a really nice girl. She says that she always thought he hated her. Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah, so did I. Like, he always thought he hated her too.
Mm-hmm. And then puberty happened.
He awkwardly puts his arm around her. He asks her,
can I kiss you? Which, by the way, is a direct quote from Casper, Can I Kiss You? On the ballroom floor, Christina Ricci, Devin Sawa.
Except this was first.
I know.
Yeah.
Which is just blowing my little mind as I'm watching this, Can I Kiss You?
Because remember, and I was saying that and you're like, from Casper. And I was like, no! I mean, yes, but
no! Yes. Can I kiss you? Which is sweet.
And she's like, what?
Well, he says, can I kiss you?
Because he's so nervous. He asks her, he gets his courage, he asks her again. She's like, I guess. He's like, really? He like lunges at her and she's like, what, right now? And he's like, I mean, whatever if you want. Cool. And she's like, okay. So they kiss, they have a little smooch.
A little consensual kiss.
He's like, oh, that was great. She's like, it was okay. And then she's like, Scott? And he's like, yeah. She's like, if you ever tell anyone about this, I will beat the shit out of you.
And she totally would.
And he's like, okay. So back to that. I just always loved that part when I was a kid.
Of course. Yeah. A little romance.
Back to Teeny and Sam in the treehouse. They're playing Truth or Dare. They're fucking being mean about Chrissy. I'm not going to get into it. Sam asks Teeny if she likes her parents. Sam tells Teeny that her dad moved out and that they're divorcing. And she says that she lied because she just wanted to have a normal family. And Teeny starts listing off all the TV shows where the families aren't perfect. And she says it's normal for things to be shitty.
Aww.
Sam breaks down and Teeny's holding her and tells her that she'll always be there for her. She takes off her necklace, she breaks it, makes 2 bracelets.
I think this is my favorite part of the movie.
It's really sweet.
Yeah. And now you'll know that we'll always be together. It's really sweet.
So a storm starts.
These storms, man. Just like,
do you remember summer storms?
Yeah, like pouring down.
And then as they're leaving to go home, Teeny says that in 10 years half the population will be divorced.
And what? That sounds crazy. It's like, it's more than half now.
Yeah. Biking home, Sam loses her bracelet, and she needs to find it right now.
And it's pouring rain. Just pouring. That poncho she's wearing, that wool poncho, must weigh heavier than she weighs.
Teeny finds that it went down the storm drain. Sam almost reaches it, but it slips away. She climbs into the storm drain.
How many fucking needles and glass bottles and crazy it monsters are down there?
The rain is really picking up. Sam finds it, and she's finding other things.
Rats.
Like a yo-yo. Then the water starts pouring down the street.
Yeah.
Sam can't find Purchase to climb back up. Teeny's trying to grab her hand, but she slips.
Scary.
She falls back, and the water is very high. A rat climbs on her shoulder. It's getting really scary. Teeny is screaming in the street for someone to help. She's trying to open the manhole cover. She can't get it.
It's in the middle of the night. Nobody's out.
Someone comes and fucking pushes her aside, opens the manhole cover, jumps into the water. They lift Sam out. And they climb out. It's Crazy Pete.
To the rescue.
He tells her that it's okay and that it's over. He asks the girls why they're afraid of him. Teeny tells him it's weird that he only comes out at night. He says that he doesn't like to see a lot of people, and they don't like to see a lot of him. He tells Teeny to get Sam home, and he leaves. The next day, the girls are painting the garage door. The Wormers come by. They're mouthing off at each other. Scott's kind of hanging back.
Hey.
He's like, ladies. He's giving Roberta eyes. The other girls are like, what the fuck?
Because she's giving eyes back.
Sam narrates that was the day that Roberta quit taping her boobs. The girls go to Sam's grandma's house. Her grandma's so funny. Pulls her aside, asks her how she's holding up. Teeny says that they're taking good care of her. Teeny's kind of like covering for her because the other girls don't know. Sam asks her about Jonathan and Beverly Ann and how they died. The grandma says that they don't want to hear about it. It was so horrible. They're begging her to tell them, but she does not want to. She mentions how Sam's just like her grandpa. All the junk that he piled up in the attic. Like how he was so obsessed with the town and everything. Her friend honks the horn outside.
Oh my goodness. The way
she
this
grabs
woman...
the drinks away from them that she had just given them. She's like, get out, get out, get out. I can't be late. She rushes them out. Her friend's like, what did she say?
Something like, get in, bitches, we're late.
She runs down to the convertible, jumps in. Her friend fucking tears off.
They're going to rob a bank, how fast they're going. Yeah. Or some straight up bingo is hot.
Poppin', yeah. Yeah, once Grandma's gone, they obviously climb into the attic to look for clues. Sam finds the newspaper with the article. We find that they were brutally murdered. Pete found them when he came home from the bar. They believe they were being robbed and startled the robber when they woke up. They were both shot.
Peter Sims, right?
Yeah. Roberta is very upset. She starts fucking banging around. She smashes a huge antique mirror. And she's like kind of screaming, why did they have to die? And then it's like about her mom, right? Yeah. Why did she have to die? She tells them that her dad lied to her about her mom's death.
And this is a little cut back to how she was so shocked about these details in the newspaper that they found in the library, because that's not the way she was told how she died.
Again, she was 4 when it happened.
Naturally.
So her dad was like
doing the best.
Trying to do, and so she says that he had said that a beautiful angel came and carried her away before she had a second to feel any pain. And she's struggling with that. She feels like she's been lied to, and he's all I have left, and he lied to me. And like, what, you know, she's really like having a hard time reckoning with a lot of stuff right now.
Yeah.
Knowing from the newspaper, you know, that her mom had lived for hours after the crash and that she had experienced a lot of pain is really, really difficult for her.
And Christina Ricci's acting in this scene is so intense.
Powerful.
It's got that like Leo energy, right? Where
big Leo energy.
She is crying and screaming and delivering these lines in such a convincing way, right? Like, my heart broke for her then, and my heart is breaking for her now, because you see this fucking turmoil that she's going through. And they both can be true. Her dad can lie to her, and, you know, she's allowed to be upset by that. Like, there's no right or wrong here.
So she folds herself up, right? And then Chrissy comes over and the other girls come over and they sit around her. And Chrissy tells her that he's not all they have left. They have each other. Sam tells the other girls that her dad left.
Yeah.
Chrissy says they should make a pact right now that they will always be there for each other no matter what happens. They put their hands in and all for one and one for all.
Really sweet.
They go back to the cemetery to have a seance to put dear Johnny to rest. In the circle, they see light in the darkness and fog in his floating gravestone come through. They're terrified.
They are fucking
scared. Then a man comes out, he's like, hey! Because they're screaming, right?
Yeah. Bloody murder.
And he tells them that it's not a playground, it's a cemetery, and they need to have respect for the dead. And they say that they do have respect for the dead, and that's why they're here.
Excuse me, mister.
Because they brought back dear Johnny, and they came to put him back to rest. And they're like, well, how else did his tombstone get cracked, right? He tells them that the tombstone got cracked because he knocked into it with his tractor.
So a bit of their world is...
You can literally see the girls lose some of that magic in this moment. You can see it, you know?
What do you mean it wasn't real? Aww.
Chrissy's like, so she's not doing any more seances. She's over it. Roberta says that she can't believe that they thought that they did it in the first place. As Sam is packing up the candles, she narrates that she knew at that moment their days of make-believe were over. And it's not that they didn't want to, but that too much had happened so that they can't anymore.
Yeah, they're getting older.
As they go to leave, they see Crazy Pete. Teeny's like, just leave him alone, right? They leave and Sam goes back to talk to him. She picks some flowers, just like
outside the graveyard, just like robbing the cityscape grounds.
She asks him if he's Peter Sims.
Yeah.
He nods and says that they were his family. She says that she's sorry for what happened, and he says that he thought that he could have stopped it if he was home instead of at the bar.
Oh, that man's guilt.
This happened in like 43 or something, so it's been
30 years?
And she says that he was there for her, right? They know what would have happened if he wasn't there. She would have died.
Yeah. She was drowning.
He saved her life. He says that he wasted a lot of years afraid to face people and afraid to face himself. She holds his hand and she says that she's scared too. He tells her things will happen in her life that she can't stop, but it's no reason to shut out the world. And then he walks away into the shadows. Sam lays flowers on the grave. The girls get the treehouse.
They get the fucking treehouse. And like that scene where the treehouse is up in the tree, Teeny's doing her makeup in the little compact, Roberta's putting up like the bird feeder or the hummingbird feeder, and it's just
Sam's writing on the roof.
Yeah, they're creating this home together.
Chrissy is hanging up some pink curtains.
Yeah.
There's a quote from the narration. We all used to try so hard to fit in. We wanted to look exactly alike, do all the same things, practically be the same people. And when we weren't looking, that changed. The treehouse was supposed to bring us more independence, but what the summer actually brought was independence from each other. Back in the present day, Sam is running around freaking the fuck out.
She has no idea what to do.
She's out. Roberta's telling her she has to move her car because she's blocking them in. She's like fucking running around. Chrissy's in labor. Teeny says that they can just take the limo to the hospital. Roberta boots the driver out. She's driving the limo. She's like, this thing's got great suspension. There's a VCR in there. She's like, oh yeah, does it have a remote? At the hospital, Teeny and Sam are on each side of Chrissy holding her hands. Roberta's delivering the baby.
Yep. Dr. Roberta.
Roberta tells Sam that she needs to calm down. And Sam's like, give me the drugs! Give me the drugs! She's like, you need to fucking chill, dude. She has the baby. It's a girl. The baby father gets there right after the delivery, and he says, hello, dear, in the way that the kid did at the softball game. So that's why we think that it's him.
Mm-hmm.
The women are now in the treehouse passing the baby around. Sam asks Chrissy, truth or dare, if she's happy. Chrissy is very happy.
Yeah.
Teeny asks Roberta, truth or dare, how big are her boobs now?
Worth every penny.
Yeah. She asks Sam if she's happy. Sam says, no, not really, but I figured that it's normal for things to be shitty, which is what Teeny said to her when they were 12.
So, Sam is rocking a 12-year-old perspective on adult life here.
Yeah. Sam says that she can't stop running from relationships. They're talking about Pete and that summer, right?
Yeah.
Teeny says that she used to send him a Christmas card every year with some money, but last year it came back.
Yeah.
He's passed away. Fucking Sam tells them that Pete was Johnny's dad. Now.
That's
they're all
weird.
surprised.
Yeah, like
she
she just
never
happened
told
to forget back then to say anything.
They spent the whole summer obsessed with that fucking mystery.
Buried the lead.
Crazy. It's like 30 or 25 years later, whatever it is. Crazy.
And they're all like, oh my god.
What? So Sam tells them about his advice that he had given her that night.
That she didn't listen to at all.
She says that she's been so scared of the bad things that she missed out on a lot of the good.
Yeah.
And she tells them that she didn't want to come home, but she's really fucking glad that she did.
Yeah, she's
and
facing stuff.
She's like, maybe I could move back here forever. And Teeny's like, calm down. That's crazy.
You don't need to go that
But
far.
she's like, maybe, we should visit more. Chrissy says, let's make a pact. They put their hands in, all for one for all again.
Mm-hmm.
They hear kids playing Red Rover in a field. They ditch the baby.
Yeah.
They go play with the kids. Sam narrates, maybe Thomas Wolfe never got to go home again, but I found my way there and I'm glad that I did. The camera pans up and away. Looking in your eyes, na 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 na. Now and then,
The way those adults would dominate that game.
They're finally getting their
They're
revenge.
finally winning.
25 years in the
Yeah.
in the making. They're taking these kids down.
Well, yeah. Jeez, it's about time.
The end.
The frickin' end. My theory? Sam's gay.
Yeah.
That's my theory. There was some, I don't want to read into anything, obviously, but there were some moments where between her and Tina, I'm like, oh, that's really intimate.
That's really
sweet.
gay.
That's really gay.
Yeah.
There's four of them. So. I think this movie, like we've discussed, has played such a huge role in our understanding of ourselves as, preteens or teens or teeny boppers, however you want to say it. This is a really crucial part of a human experience, I think, in our world. Not a girl, but not yet a woman.
Not yet a woman.
Yeah.
All I need is time.
Yeah.
A moment that is mine. Yeah.
Brittany.
I love that movie. I thought it was so great to watch it again. It's been a long time and it brought a lot of stuff up and I still had a great time watching it. Yeah. I really did. There was some stuff, like, as we talked about, where it's like, you know what, this is kind of fucked. Yeah. I think for the time and stuff too, like, it's so great. And the way that I felt when her and Devin Sawa were sitting on that fucking porch swing.
You little giddy monster.
I was like, I felt like I was 12 again. Yeah. I was just like, oh my god. Yeah. So cute.
It's similar to Harriet the Spy again, in the sense that I'm probably not going to revisit it anytime soon. But boy, did it have a repeat in my childhood experience.
This movie had me in a chokehold for a few years. I watched it like...
we're talking about replicating it, right? And having these like...
emulating it too, right? Like, really, yeah. I wanted to have that day riding bikes with my friends and... Yeah.
Catch the boys skinny dipping and take their clothes or save up for something really special. Like I really identified with that, like as friends, like doing odd jobs around the neighborhood to save up for something special, whether that be, the treehouse, or I think we were just saving up for like a Hanson CD or something silly.
My neighbor and I, we had a lemonade stand once. This is so funny. So I used to have lemonade stands with my sister in the city all the time. And in the city, you get a lot more foot traffic than you do.
Yeah. A lot of thirsty people in the city.
Yeah, than you do like in a suburb on the edge of town.
No one walking by.
In a very small town. So we did a lemonade stand. My neighbor wanted to charge fucking 10 cents a cup. And I was like, the standard rate is 25 cents a cup.
A quarter. Easy.
And I remember Haley, if you're listening, you little shit. And she was like, we're never going to sell any at those city prices. Like, we're in the country, bitch. We need to, like, the price needs to be lower.
Shrinkflation.
People don't just, it was so, and we like fully had a fight and like almost didn't do it. Because I was like, I am not putting in all this effort for 10 cents a cup. We're not going to make anything.
No, we got to pay back the friggin' juice crystals we bought.
I literally remember her being like, city prices, like talking about the inflation or whatever and being like, no one is going to buy in Armstrong a cup of lemonade for 25 cents. That's way too expensive.
She knew the market. She knew the clientele. She knew what was going on. And what did you settle on?
I think probably like 15 or something, right? Like, yeah. Which is like, there's no 15-cent coin. So it's like such a, anyway. That just reminded me of that. Okay. Favorite character?
Okay. I'm gonna need a minute because I hadn't actually thought about it.
As a kid, it definitely cycled, right? Like,
it depends on what I was into.
But I think overall, and for the longest, mine's Roberta. Yeah.
I think at the time I identified so much with Roberta because of how often I'd be playing sports, getting dirty. But I was, I wasn't at a certain point in time in childhood, in the preteen, like feminine per se, in the way that Chrissy or Teeny was feminine. Mm-hmm. I think also I identified a lot with Sam in her weird, like, interests with sci-fi and spooky stuff. So it was oscillating between, I think, Roberta and Sam.
Same.
Yeah. I was enamored by Teeny. I thought she was so, like, beautiful and cool. Mm-hmm. But I didn't identify as her in any way. I love, Demi Moore's, portrayal of Sam. Mm-hmm. Just that, you know, moody, edgy, adult with great fashion sense. I really want a pair of those like small sunglasses that are like tinted like kind of blue and they barely cover your face. Yeah. Oh, I want a pair so bad. But yeah, I think it was like a blend of Roberta and Sam.
Yeah, definitely. I feel that too. I feel like, I did have a tomboy phase. I wasn't sporty, but I definitely had I wanted to be feminine and I wanted to like wear a bra and that kind of stuff, but I was so scared of it and I didn't, you know. Mm-hmm. So, and I also didn't feel like pretty or anything, so sinking into that like was easier for me in a way. But yeah, I think Roberta and Sam for sure. But Roberta, my favorite character. You know. Yeah. Cause Sam's just a fucking downer, to be honest. Yeah. Like,
even as a child, her like the way she would narrate or talk is like, oof, you are jaded, aren't you? But yeah, Roberta I think she had like a very firm understanding of herself, which I thought was cool, and how puberty was really messing with that a bit.
And then like having the kiss and having that, and she's kind of like, oh, I can have this like interest in boys and stuff like that and still be
I can be both.
Bitch, right?
Yeah. I can be myself, sporty or mask or tomboy or however you want to identify that. But plus, I think I had the most lovely crush on Christina Ricci the whole time.
Oh my god, yeah. She's so cute.
The dark hair with the porcelain skin. It's just so beautiful.
I like wanted to be her, right?
Yeah. As dark-haired people. We're like, wow.
Yeah. Great. I don't even know how to rate it. Like, not even,
I don't know. It's just, I would totally be in that treehouse with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. We would have a ball.
I'm kind of feeling like we should get one now. Right?
With what fucking tree, my friend? Neither of us have trees.
Oh, that's true. I know.
But,
and we also have homes. We don't have to pretend.
We have our own
I love that, like,
homes.
Should we get a clubhouse?
I think we're in it, honestly. It's like we're literally in it right now. Yeah, that's the amount of time we spend in this room just talking to each other. True. Yeah. True that.
I don't want to stop because this is the end.
It's the end. I know. It feels strange.
Not forever, just for now. We're going to take a little break.
We're busy women.
And I know you said, it's camping season. I'm taking my chair. Yeah, take it. But like, how long are we taking a break for?
At least like a month, I think.
Yeah.
It is been so much fun doing this with you. Like getting to know you through these movies. Getting to know all about you.
Yeah.
And it's also so fun to like hear my friends who listen to this as well. Like I've got a friend at work, Sarah, loves listening to it. She's just talking about the stories and how it's like relatable. And I don't know, recently some friends of mine came over and we love to watch like bad movies together, and it's fun to recreate this in adulthood. I think it's important. Like we opened this entire podcast about inner child work. Like play with your inner child.
Yeah. That's something like over the last year and a half or so that has really opened, like it's kind of changed my life in a big way.
Huge.
Just allowing myself to like play, and just have fun and kind of getting away from that. What is the economic society that we live in? What is that called? This capitalism.
Oh yeah.
Like kind of trying to deconstruct that and internalize like capitalism and stuff, and the idea that you can't spend, even like we talked about spending time, the verbiage of spending time is so, to me, it's toxic.
Yeah.
Your time is yours. Right. And, but the idea that you can't do things unless you're guaranteed some sort of monetary gain from it.
An outcome.
And an outcome. And not just that, but you have to be good at it.
Yes.
And that has been such a big thing for me the last year and a half, like kind of breaking that down. I've talked about like learning how to paint with watercolors and stuff. I always wanted to paint, but I was afraid to because using color is hard. It's different than drawing, right?
Absolutely.
And, I'm not good at painting. Like it's something that I have to practice. It's something that I have to do. I enjoy doing it, but it's really, really difficult as well because I'm not just good at it. And when things aren't turning out the way that I see it in my head, it's really frustrating and it's hard to kind of manage that, but it's been so fucking healthy.
And that's it, right?
Yeah.
You and I have bonded so much over the last year about being scared to do things because we're not going to be perfect at it immediately. And that's some old stuff that's just lingering around. And, you know, me joining my choir in the last year has been huge because choir for me was a huge part of my life growing up, and being classically trained and having such like a rigid perfectionistic relationship with it, and then just going to the fucking local church in town and singing pop songs with a bunch of other people, enjoying just not being good at it but having fun.
Yeah,
it's liberating.
That's what it's about. So I guess the moral of this season, if we were going to put it in Aesop's terms, is get out there and play with yourself.
I'm not.
No, I know, but I didn't mean it.
I mean it that way. If you need it, go.
You need to masturbate more. And also
sing like no one's watching. Paint like no one's watching.
Paint like no one's listening. Sing like no one's watching. Get out there. Do that thing that you are curious about, but you're afraid that you're not going to be good at.
Yeah.
Pick it up.
Have fun. Be silly. Be bad at it.
Be bad at it. Go out there and do something that you're fucking bad at.
And enjoy it.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time.
Yeah, next time. Oh, here's a cue.
Okay. Cue it up.
Should we draw episode 1?
I get to draw?
Now?
I'm the next one?
Yeah.
I kind of have...
Is that crazy?
And
we're drawing for episode 1 of season 2. Right now. She picked.
Okay.
Is it the one?
No.
Oh no. Honestly, hell yeah.
This is gonna be, this will be funny.
This is gonna be meaty conversation.
Meaty. Yeah. And, a lot of deconstruction.
That's awesome.
For sure.
I'm fucking down. This will be a great episode 1. I just went from 6 to midnight. Okay. Well, thanks so much for listening. I am feeling pretty bittersweet, but happy. And we did it. We fucking did it. Remember episode 1?
Yeah.
We're gonna come back. Far. In a little while, we're saying goodbye, but not forever.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna come back season 2, like refreshed and ready.
Yep. Ready to go.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Thank you for joining us along this fun little ride. Yeah. And yes, of course, if you would like to get in touch with us.
I'm like, hey, bye.
Please feel free to email us at newfriendcinema@gmail.com. And we are on Instagram.
New Friend Cinema.
We have a fucking TikTok
Facebook.
now.
I started making TikToks. I've made 3. They take a long time.
Really good at it.
Yeah, so you can follow us on TikToks just for some fun little clip art style videos.
The clip art and the emoji energy is great.
Yeah, so we're TikTokers now, and Facebook, we're on there. We have a YouTube channel. We're everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is surreal.
So it's crazy. It's fucking, yeah.
So feel free to reach out, leave a like or review or however you want to do that.
Subscribe.
It helps us out.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time.
We'll
on the flip
see you.
side.
We'll see you on the flip side. Love it. Yeah, we'll see you in the summertime.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye. And I'm.
And I say, we were saying I'm at the same time. For
Yeah.
Can we practice?
Yeah.
Okay, ready?
Yes. Do you want to do it? Wait, 3, 2, 1, and then go?
Yes. No go. We go after one.
After one. Yeah, that's what
okay.
I meant. Okay,
Yeah.
ready? Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to New Friends Cinema. I'm Courtney.
And I'm oh, Dakota. Yeah, so try to say and I'm.
Not just
Yeah,
I'm.
yeah.
Okay.
But should we say welcome back?
Welcome back to New Friends
That's what
Cinema.
we usually say.
Okay. 3, 2.
Welcome back to New Friends Cinema. I'm
Courtney.
And I'm Dakota.
don't know if we can keep a straight face.
It's hard once we get into the names.
Yes.
Should we just do it one more time and then just like let that be it?
Yes. Let's do it without the and-imes and see how it lands. Or do you like the and?
I like it.
Okay. Let's do it. Eye contact.
Because I always say, and I'm like, if you're the second one, you always say that too.
Yeah.
And it's okay if it's fucky.
Fucky.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Welcome back to New Friends Cinema. I'm.
Okay. I was gonna say Dakota. I was going to say Dakota. Okay. 1, 2. Knock 3 times. Can you hear Dakota coughing? She's clearing her throat right now. And now she's blowing her nose.